Today, we're diving into 7 powerful habits that have had a profound impact on my daily life. You might be wondering, can a single week really make a difference? From my experience, the answer is a resounding yes. These aren't just generic self-improvement tips you've heard 1,000 times. They're practical, real-life habits that challenged me, reshaped my mindset, and brought about tangible changes. As I share these, I hope they inspire you to make small but meaningful adjustments in your routine. Whether you're seeking more productivity, mental clarity, or simply a fresh perspective, these habits could be the spark you need. And trust me, they're not just theoretical concepts, they're simple yet transformative steps you can try starting today. Habit 1: Embracing early mornings. I have to admit, mornings used to be my worst enemy. The snooze button was my best friend, and rushing through the start of my day left me feeling scattered and unprepared. But when I committed to waking up earlier, something unexpected happened. The quiet hours of the morning became a sanctuary, an opportunity to move at my own pace, reflect, and set a positive tone for the rest of the day. At first, it was tough. Dragging myself out of bed before sunrise felt unnatural. But after a few days, I noticed the beauty in those early moments, the stillness, the sense of possibility. It became my time for stretching, mindful breathing, and even just sipping my coffee without distraction. One particular morning stands out. As I stepped onto my balcony and watched the sunrise paint the sky, I felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. It was a reminder that life isn't just about rushing from one task to the next, it's also about being present and appreciating the simple, beautiful moments. If you're skeptical about waking up early, I get it. But I encourage you to try shifting your wake-up time just a little earlier and see how it feels. It's not about losing sleep, it's about gaining clarity, time, and intention for your day. Habit 2: Moving every day. Daily exercise is another habit that, quite honestly, changed my perspective on self-care. For the longest time, I viewed working out as a chore, something I had to do rather than something I wanted to do. But when I shifted my mindset and approached movement as a way to feel good rather than just a way to stay fit, everything changed. I started small, with just 20 minutes a day, sometimes a jog, sometimes yoga, sometimes a quick bodyweight workout. The first few days were rough, but by the end of the week, I felt noticeably different. My energy levels were higher, my mood was lighter, and even my stress levels seemed more manageable. One morning, I went for a jog in the crisp air, and for the first time in a long time, I felt completely present. It wasn't about pushing myself to exhaustion, it was about reconnecting with my body and mind. Exercise became more than just a routine, it became a tool for emotional well-being and mental clarity. For anyone struggling to start, I'd say, don't overthink it. Find a form of movement you enjoy, start small, and be consistent. Whether it's dancing, walking, or yoga, the key is making movement a natural and enjoyable part of your life. Habit 3: The power of journaling. Journaling is one of those habits that many people overlook, assuming it's just for writers or people with extra time on their hands. But when I gave it a real chance, it completely changed the way I reflected on my life. At first, I was skeptical. How could writing a few thoughts down on paper make a difference? But after committing to journaling consistently for just a week, I realized its incredible impact. I kept it simple: 10 minutes before bed, a plain notebook, and a comfortable pen. No pressure to make it look perfect. Just me and my thoughts. The first few entries felt a little awkward. I wasn't sure what to write, so I started with the basics: what happened during the day, what made me happy, and what challenged me. Over time, my entries became deeper. I began exploring my emotions, my aspirations, and even my fears. It was as if I was having an honest conversation with myself, one I had been avoiding for years. One night, I wrote about a particularly stressful experience at work. Instead of letting the frustration bottle up, I detailed what happened, how it made me feel, and what I could do differently next time. Seeing my thoughts on paper helped me process them more clearly. I started recognizing patterns. Some of my worries were completely out of my control, while others revealed areas where I needed to grow. Another powerful aspect of journaling was tracking personal progress. I wrote about small victories, things I had accomplished, even if they seemed minor. Looking back on these moments gave me a sense of motivation and perspective. I remember writing about a big presentation I was nervous about and how I prepared for it. When I later read that entry, I could see how my efforts paid off, reinforcing my confidence for future challenges. I also introduced a gratitude section in my journal. Every day, I wrote down 3 things I was grateful for. This simple shift changed my focus from what was missing in my life to what I already had. One particular entry stood out, about a stranger who helped me with my grocery bags when I was struggling. Writing about that moment not only made me appreciate it more but also inspired me to look for ways to pass on kindness to others. Journaling became more than just a habit, it became a form of self-discovery. It was a safe space where I could be completely honest with myself, free from judgment. If you've never tried journaling, I highly recommend giving it a shot. Don't worry about making it perfect. Just write. Whether it's a stream of consciousness, a recap of your day, or a reflection on something that stood out to you, the process itself is what matters. It's not about what you write, it's about what you gain from writing. Habit 4, Mindful Eating, a game changer. Mindful eating was one of the biggest shifts I made in my daily routine. Like many people, I used to eat in a rush, barely paying attention to my food. Meals became something I did while scrolling on my phone, watching TV, or working at my desk. I had no idea how much this mindless eating was affecting my well-being, until I committed to a week of eating with full awareness. Mindful eating is about being fully present while you eat, engaging all your senses to truly experience your food. It's about savoring each bite, noticing the textures, flavors, and even the smells. So, I set a rule: no distractions. No phone, no laptop, no TV. Just me and my meal. At first, it felt a little strange to sit quietly and focus on my food, but soon it became a calming ritual. I started each meal with a few deep breaths, bringing my attention to the present moment. Almost immediately, I noticed something surprising: food tasted better. Meals I had eaten hundreds of times suddenly had new flavors I'd never really appreciated. The crispness of fresh vegetables, the natural sweetness of fruit, the warmth of freshly cooked rice, it was like my taste buds had woken up. But it wasn't just about taste. Mindful eating also changed the way my body responded to food. Since I was eating more slowly, I started recognizing when I was actually full. I used to eat too quickly and end up feeling overstuffed. Now, I felt satisfied without overeating. One of the most memorable moments was when I had a simple bowl of oatmeal. Normally, I'd finish it in minutes without thinking. But this time, I took my time, enjoying the creamy texture and subtle sweetness of the honey I had drizzled on top. What was once just another meal became a moment of gratitude and appreciation. Another unexpected benefit? I became more aware of how different foods made me feel. Heavy, processed meals left me sluggish, while fresh, whole foods gave me energy. This awareness led me to make healthier choices naturally, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. Mindful eating also helped me recognize emotional eating patterns. I started noticing when I was eating out of stress, boredom, or habit rather than actual hunger. One night, after a long day, I found myself craving something sweet. Normally, I would have grabbed a dessert without thinking. But instead, I paused and asked myself, am I really hungry, or am I just looking for comfort? Turns out, I wasn't actually hungry, I just needed a moment to unwind. Instead of eating, I made myself a warm cup of herbal tea. It was a small but powerful shift. Mindful eating isn't about dieting or restricting yourself, it's about building a better relationship with food. If you've never tried it, I encourage you to give it a go. Even if it's just one meal a day, try eating without distractions. Focus on the textures, the flavors, the way your body feels. You might be surprised by how much more enjoyable and satisfying your meals become. Incorporating mindful eating into my daily routine turned out to be a truly transformative experience. It helped me foster a healthier relationship with food, improve digestion, and enhance my overall well-being. What started as an experiment quickly became a habit I continued long after that initial week, and I highly recommend giving it a try. If you're curious about mindful eating, a great way to start is by choosing just one meal a day to practice. Set aside distractions, take a deep breath, and focus on every bite. Notice the flavors, textures, and how the food makes you feel. This simple act of being fully present with your meal can shift your entire approach to eating, helping you reconnect with your body and truly appreciate the nourishment food provides. Habit 5. Reducing screen time. One of the biggest challenges in today's digital world is managing screen time. Like many people, I found myself constantly reaching for my phone, endlessly scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows, or checking emails at all hours. Over time, I realized that excessive screen use was negatively impacting my mental well-being, productivity, and even my sleep. That's when I decided to set some boundaries and see what would change. I started by setting a daily limit of 1 hour for non-work-related screen time, meaning no mindless scrolling, no endless video marathons, and no late-night TV sessions. At first, it felt unnatural. I was so used to filling every free moment with screen time that stepping away felt like a challenge. But I quickly began noticing positive changes. One of the biggest surprises was how much more time I had in my day. I hadn't realized just how many hours were slipping away until I consciously limited my screen use. With that extra time, I started revisiting old hobbies that I had neglected for years. One evening, instead of watching TV after dinner, I took a walk in the park. The fresh air, the sound of the wind rustling through the trees, and the simple act of moving my body felt deeply refreshing. It was a stark contrast to the sluggish feeling I usually had after hours in front of a screen. Another change was the improvement in my sleep quality. Without the overstimulation of blue light late at night, I found it easier to wind down and get restful sleep. My anxiety levels also decreased, and I felt more present in my daily interactions. One of the most memorable moments was when I spent an entire afternoon at a cafe with nothing but a notebook and a pen. I wrote down my thoughts, reflected on my goals, and even did a bit of sketching. It was peaceful, productive, and free from digital distractions. That experience made me realize how much I had been missing out on by constantly engaging with screens. Of course, breaking the habit wasn't always easy. There were times when I caught myself instinctively reaching for my phone, but each time, I gently reminded myself why I was doing this and redirected my focus towards something more meaningful. The key takeaway is that reducing screen time isn't about eliminating technology completely, it's about creating a healthier balance. If you ever feel overwhelmed or disconnected, consider setting small limits on your screen usage. Start with just an hour less each day and see how it impacts your life. Use that extra time to reconnect with yourself, engage with loved ones, or simply be more present in the world around you. You might be surprised at how much more fulfilling life feels when you step away from the digital noise. Final thoughts. And that brings us to the end of this journey through the habits that made a significant difference in my life. This past week has been an incredible experience, not just in implementing these changes but in seeing how even small adjustments can lead to profound improvements. If any of these habits resonated with you, I encourage you to try them out for yourself. You don't have to do everything at once, just start with one habit and see how it feels. Adapt it to fit your lifestyle, and remember that the goal isn't perfection but progress. Small, consistent steps can lead to meaningful transformations over time. I'd love to hear about your experiences. Let me know in the comments which habit you're thinking of trying, or if you have any questions about getting started. Your stories and feedback are what make this community so special. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any future content. And if you know someone who could benefit from these insights, feel free to share this video with them. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, small changes lead to big results, so let's keep growing, evolving, and turning everyday routines into powerful moments of self-improvement. See you in the next video.